Good morning, big shavers and YouTubers. Paul here. Today I'm going to do a shave with some products that were sent to me by guys from the Big Shave Facebook group. First off, I'm going to be using the Spanish leather that was sent to me by Mark from the Big Shave. Thank you very much, Mark. I've really liked the smell of this, and I'm anxious to give this a try today. In addition, there's a pass around that was started by Dave on the Big Shave for the Simpson's Skin food. So he has sent this to me to try, and once I've tried it, I will go ahead and pass it on to the next person, and that next person is James. In addition, Dave sent me a couple of blades, Pole Silver Super Iridium and a Wilkinson sword blade. I've actually tried both these blades, and they both work pretty well for me. So thank you, David, for sending me that, and I'll go ahead and give this a try and give my opinion today on it, and then I'll go ahead and pass it along to James. I've already prepared my face today with the Musco Real Glycerin Oak Moss soap, and I've applied the Proraso white pre-shave, and I'm going to be using my Ikon S3S with a feather blade. That was suggested to me by Tyler, also on the Big Shave, to try the feather in the Ikon razor. I find that razor to be very mild, so I wanted, and I tend to like a little bit more aggressive shave than that. So he suggested try the feather. I'm going to do it today, and I'll give you my opinion. I'm also going to be using my Simpson Commadore X3 brush. This is a great brush. I really enjoy this brush. It is one of the moderately priced Simpson brushes. It's not definitely not one of their super duper expensive brushes, and supposedly this is the best-selling brush in the U.S. This one is in Best Badger, and I really like that. This brush has a tremendous density, and it is actually really soft as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just start applying the cream here, and then we'll get going. I'm planning on just doing 3 passes and maybe a few little touch-ups today, and we'll see how that goes. So Spanish leather really does have a nice smell. People say it smells like English leather. I have no idea what English leather smells like, but if it smells like this, it smells good. There is a little bit of woodiness and muskiness to it, which is quite nice. And I've found with pretty much with all the Trumpers creams, they tend to lather pretty easily, and I've never really had a big problem with lather formation with Trumpers creams, and they really seem to be good performers. So this X3 Simpson brush is about 24 millimeter, about a 24 millimeter knot. Again, it's in Best Badger, and the Simpson Best Badger bristles are actually really soft. There is a nice backbone to this due to the density of the brush. It is probably one of the densest brushes I have, which is surprising because this is really not one of their more expensive brushes. And by Simpson standards, I think this brush would be kind of a bargain. It is not as inexpensive as, say, a Berkeley, but it is a much bigger brush than the Berkeley, and of course it is more expensive than the Wee Scott, which is also an excellent brush, although it is very tiny. So I've been really pleased with this brush thus far. So apply a little more water to the cream here. And just continue to try and work my lather in to the skin. The Trumpers creams do seem to be fairly concentrated, like many of the other English luxury brands, True Fit and Hale, Taylor Roll Bond Street, and they really will form a nice rich lather with a fairly small amount of the product. Though they are a little expensive, they do tend to last quite a while due to their concentration. I'm just going to keep adding water to this. Because of the hardness of my water, it does take a little bit more effort than normal, and a little bit more work to create a lather than it would if I think if you had really nice soft water. But I've kind of gotten used to it, and I can usually work up a pretty decent lather. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, let me just dump out the water in my scuttle here, and I will just set the brush down here, and we'll go ahead and get started. So with the grain, the feather feels smooth. Of course, with most blades, with the grain for me is not much of a problem. Okay. I'll just go ahead and wet my face and lather up again for the second pass. One thing I have noticed with this brush is that I tend to get a nice lather on the first pass, but then I've not really figured out the face lathering technique with this brush yet to get enough lather on there for a good 3 passes. I don't know if I'm creating the lather, enough lather on my face or what, but I have been having to reload the brush with the cream as I try and work out the particulars with this brush. So. Okay, there we go. Here we go, pass number 2. So with this Ikon razor, I really can't tell a whole lot of difference between the way this head feels when you compare the open comb side to the solid bar side. I oftentimes won't pay a whole lot of attention to which side I'm using. Today I did my with the grain pass all with the open comb side, and I'm going to I did my cross grain on the cheeks with the open comb, and on the neck I'm using the closed end. So. Alright, pass number 3, here we go. Okay. So again, on the against the grain pass on my neck and on my jawline, I'm going to go ahead and use the open comb. And then on my cheeks, I'll go ahead and use the safety bar side. Just a little touch up on the neck here. So I will have to say, this razor with the feather actually seems to work pretty well. It is very, very smooth and a pretty comfortable shave. So I'd have to say I'm pretty happy with that combination. It's not, it doesn't feel overly aggressive at all, but it's actually pretty easy to achieve a nice smooth result with pretty much minimal effort. And I have to say I don't feel any pulling or tugging with that at all. I'm going to go ahead and use the Skin Food, and I'll give my quick opinion about that. So this is a Simpson Skin Food. Really doesn't have much scent at all. It's not super thick. I'd say it's comparable to many of the other aftershave balms that you see. It's definitely not as liquidy as the Trumper Skin Food. This is more of a balm type consistency than the glycerin based Skin Food by Trumpers. And again, this has no scent that I can perceive. It just smells like a cream or whatever, pretty much unscented. So I don't think this would compete with your any sort of aftershave at all. Seems to rub into the skin pretty well. Seems to be absorbed pretty nicely. And it actually feels pretty nice. So anyways, all in all, pretty happy with the shave. Mark, thank you for the Spanish leather. It smells great. Obviously I still need to work out the lathering particulars with this, but actually it's nice and slick, and really works quite well. So I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.